Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This episode of the Kindness Project was recorded live on Facebook during lockdown, which explains why we're probably still talking about being stuck indoors. I hope you're enjoying your time outside to the fullest, and thanks for listening to the Kindness Project. This week on the Kindness Project, we talk about Acme Products, anime knowledge, and we're joined by Bianca Sainty from Pod Fitness.
Morning, I'm fine, thank you. I'm struggling a little bit with a hay fever at the moment, but otherwise I'm fine. Thank you very much. I have actually, since I was about 18, I remember it really well because it was when I was doing my A-levels. I came out of an exam screaming, and my teacher said, what happened? And I was like, I don't know, but the exam was fine. Since then, that's quite a long time ago. But basically, I have a period where it's quite bad, like right about now, probably for about a week. So I try to avoid being outdoors, but, you know, I love being outdoors at the same time, and we need to get out there in the sun and get the vitamin D.
Yeah.
So I have, to be honest, I've tried over the years lots, nasal sprays, antihistamines, and they never quite seem to do it. So I just kind of push on through. It's loads of tissues.
Yeah, loads of tissues. And imagine though, like now we've got like the prevalence in face masks. Just a big old school gas mask might save you from hay fever, right?
I think so.
You know, like a World War II style massive gas mask. Probably difficult to exercise in though.
Yeah, you know what is quite effective actually is if you are going out, and especially if you are going to go out and exercise, is to put a little bit of something like Vaseline or lip gloss around your nostrils.
Right.
And I know it sounds a bit weird, but what it does actually catch, in theory, like the pollen before it goes up your nose. So it does help a little bit. There's a little top tip for you.
Top tip, we like that. What unofficial question of the podcast? We'll move on to the actual question of the podcast in a minute. But unofficial question of the podcast, and we should have this as a proper question of the podcast coming up.
Go on.
Are you doing the eye roll?
Of course I am.
You're doing the eye roll super early in the episode. What is your top tip? You know, what tip do you always share with people?
Wheelie chairs.
What's your top tip? Wheel around quite a lot of the wheelie chair.
I got caught in your wheelie chair when I was trying to shuffle forward, so now I'm kind of awkwardly at a side angle.
Yeah. So what the question that I want to ask, unofficial question of the podcast, is what is your top tip? So what's the thing that you share that's really useful? What do you reckon your top tip is, Charlotte?
Don't know.
No, don't know.
Don't know.
Is it potentially about salmon burgers?
Well, that was for a piece of writing I'm doing. My second attempt at writing a book, and I like doing detailed stuff about really random stuff.
So why are you doing research into salmon burgers? Why are you?
Because they're cooking.
Oh, they're cooking. And what did you need to know about salmon burgers?
The ingredients.
Oh, right, okay. What's in the salmon burger? I'm assuming salmon. I'm hoping so.
Salmon, yeah, but it was also a whole dish with like sweet potato fries and.
Oh,
yum!
I still have the recipe up on my laptop, which is to the left. We're working on 3 screens today and not the four from last time.
Yeah. So sweet potato fries. So what we want to know, and hi to Danielle, hi to Russ, hi to Mary, hi to Jackie, hi to Desmond, hi to Kelly, hi to Andy, and hi to Russ. What is your unofficial question of the podcast? Is what is your top tip? You know, what do you always share that is really useful for most people? Should we talk about the official question of the podcast?
Yes. If you could be a fictional or cartoon character for a week, who would you be? And I'm going to assume you asked why.
Yeah, maybe why.
Yeah,
maybe why. If you want to answer why, that's fine. So if you were to be a fictional or cartoon character for a week, who would you be? Bianca, who would you choose?
Do you know what popped into my head? The Roadrunner. Do you know that? Do you remember the?
Amazing choice. Amazing.
I don't know why. I like to go really far.
Do you know what though? The Roadrunner might be a good choice, but you wouldn't want to be probably one of the worst is the coyote. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And why that isn't the coyote doing something about all of the shoddy products Acme are sending him? I mean,
Oh, it's true. He's let down, isn't he? Every single time.
stop buying Acme products, shouldn't you?
Acme.
Don't you remember the Roadrunner?
No.
Meet me.
You don't know who the Roadrunner is.
I remember it, I just don't remember it in detail.
Well, what used to happen is he used to run away from this coyote.
Yeah, I know that bit.
You know that bit. Well, just catch me up on where you are with Roadrunner.
No, that's it. That's as much as I know.
Right.
That's kind of all you need to know.
And then what the coyote used to have to do is try and buy these products that used to apparently help him get the Roadrunner every week, and they just used to go wrong. Now, if Amazon sent me one product that went wrong, I'd probably send it back. But he kept on going to the same place.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? You know Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz, he always used to make something to try and make his life better or to try and fill out his evil schemes. And these kids just they didn't even mean to do it, but they just kept messing up his machines, his innators.
Bianca, it shows the difference in generations, because I haven't got a clue who Phineas and Ferb is, do you?
No.
Completely over. You know what? Like, I know a bit about Pokemon now, because you educated me about Pokemon. I know about Digimon, which
Digimon.
seems the same as Pokemon, to be honest.
You can't say that.
Why can't I say that? Why am I not allowed to say that?
Because the people say that all the time, and it's like they're not the same.
Oh, okay. Monsters who have got powers, fine. I know about I know a lot more about manga now, because we went to that manga museum in Kyoto, didn't we? That was amazing. So yeah, I know a lot more.
I spent half an hour reading Detective Conan.
Yeah, I know a lot more about manga now. So salmon fish cakes. What is your top tip? And the official question in the podcast: what fictional character would you be for a week? Or a cartoon character, and where can people get in touch with us?
Okay, so if you're currently watching this, you are already on our Facebook page, or you're on the share thing that I set up this morning. I set up every morning, and it is easy to get to us from there, and it should be pretty obvious.
Just comment, feel free.
So if you're not, you can type into that search bar thingy, because if you're not, then you're listening, so I need to explain what's going on. So you type the Kindness Project podcast in the top, or on Twitter, we're at Ola Kindness, and it's the same for Instagram. We have a website, www.thekindnessproject.co.uk. We have an email, ola@thekindnessproject.co.uk. I think I covered everything.
Yeah. And you can listen to all of our 100 odd episodes of the Kindness Project that we've done over the last couple of years on the website, with some amazing guests. Please do check that out. We've got merch on sale, so you can buy a Kindness Project t-shirt and stuff like that.
We may be the only ones who've ever bought it.
No, we get a bit in.
Do we
We do. Yeah, but 100% of that goes to charity. So you're raising money for a good cause if you choose to support the Kindness Project. And yeah, I think that's about it. Do you want to go on with the show? Because you've got a little bit about Dave Forsdyke's Silver Linings, haven't you?
Well, they're Dave Forsdyke's Silver Linings. I just have the Facebook page up.
Go on then.
Would you mind shuffling over just a tiny bit? Just so I can read it, because my head's a little bit loose. Okay, Silver Linings for Thursday, so those are yesterday's Silver Linings.
Okay.
A small charity called Zarek Leeds is doing amazing things in the community. They describe themselves as one teacher and her mates trying to make sure the kids in the UK have a bed. During the lockdown, they have turned into a tower of strength for the needy and vulnerable. Please support them with a few quid if you can by visiting their website and clicking on the donate button.
And we'll put that link in the show notes as well.
A care home in Devon has copied the concept of drive-through restaurants to reunite loved ones during the coronavirus. Using PPE, time slots and separate stations, family visited residents from the safety of their cars after 8 weeks apart.
Well, I like the idea of this, right? So allowing people to visit their families, but sort of still practicing the social distancing thing. Unofficial question of the podcast: what would you have as a drive-through that now might, like before, might never have worked, but now might. So I know there's like drive-through cinemas and drive-through food. Would a drive-through theatre work? Do you reckon?
Drive-through comedy club.
Drive-through comedy club.
You drive past, the guy tells you a joke, and the first one that makes you laugh, you just move on.
How about if they never make you laugh? Because you'd be there a long time, wouldn't you? Let's be honest.
No, I'd probably take one look at someone trying to tell me a joke, and I'd be like.
Okay, next on Silver Linings, a line of knitted bunting, largely created while in lockdown, has almost doubled and existed. That's another person who's got a Guinness World Record before me.
I say we do a live stream.
So we need to get out a bit of Guinness World Records in our life. Just over 79,000 knitted flags were created by thousands of contributors from across the world, and that beat the previous Guinness World Record by double. Many contributors said it gave them something to do while in lockdown. Now, I've been getting into my art while in lockdown. Bianca, what have you been doing in lockdown that's been different? What have you been doing to keep yourself entertained?
That's a good question. Because a lot of it is same, isn't it? Because we've all been at home. Well, so much is different, isn't it? Yeah. Kids at home, husband at home, everyone at home all the time. So that is different. I have actually got into playing Minecraft with my son in particular.
Yes.
Good choice.
Ignore
Good choice.
The people that tell you Minecraft is dead, because it will never die.
You know what? Minecraft, I think, is one of those games that, like, and I'm a gamer, so I quite like games anyway. But Minecraft is one of the games that teaches you about construction, teaches about creativity. It's like, it's actually, I think the engineers of tomorrow are playing Minecraft now. That's what I think, because it does. I'm sorry to get really geeky because I like a bit of Minecraft as well. But did your son use redstone and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, he is, like, compared to me, I'm so basic with it, but he is next level. He's rushing up. He's so fast, and I'm just like, oh, hang on a minute. How do I put this block down? But at least we could do it together. But you know what I was going to say is actually we crossed it over as well. So he was building a tree house in Minecraft, and I was like, well, how about you just, to get him off screen for a little bit, how about you build a treehouse with your Lego now? And he was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so, like that crossing over, like you're saying about the engineer.
Yeah. It's actually like a practical skill, isn't it? I mean, like, there's no surprise that Minecraft has sort of taken over the world, because you can build literally whatever you want with it.
I once accidentally burned Soph's house down. It was
Sorry, can we just confirm in Minecraft?
In
yeah.
Minecraft.
All right, okay.
She built it in the shape of a sheep.
You're not taking petrol to a Wendy house in the back garden.
No.
I might miss that. I don't know.
She built it in the shape of a sheep, but the legs were made out of coal, and I was trying to make obsidian with water and lava, and the lava spilled and it burned down her house.
Oh no!
Can you? I'm still trying to learn. I mean, Charlotte's 16 now, but I'm still trying to learn about this parenting game. What page of the parenting handbook does it teach you how to deal with a teenage arsonist? I don't know. Do you know?
2 years ago.
Oh. Well, you were a teenager then?
I was still a teenager.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me know when you find it, Chris. Let me know.
Yeah. Should we carry on?
Yeah.
We got a bit distracted there. A fine crew in Bovey Tracy saying happy birthday to Jack, a naval war veteran, in celebration of his 100th birthday. Afterwards, the crew said, during Mental Health Awareness Week, we are highlighting acts of kindness. You know what I've loved about lockdown, and as you say, it comes with its frustrations, but one of the things I've loved about lockdown is a renewed respect for previous generations. With the charity work that's been done by the couple of guys who have just turned 100, plus people looking out for their neighbours and delivering sort of provisions that they need. The work that Silverline have been doing with schemes for the people who are getting lonely. All of that stuff has been amazing. So well done, everybody who's been getting involved with that. You've got a story?
I do. You sent it to me yesterday. I'm not sure where it came from, but...
It came from friend of the show, Roberta White. So thanks, Roberta, for sending that in.
Okay, so Ian Wren. I received a lovely message this morning from a dear friend. Paul Sullivan is an entertainer and has performed in many pubs and clubs around Tayside and beyond. This virus has stopped Paul performing in his usual venues, so he has been using his musical talents in other ways. Paul has been performing outdoor concerts, did I say that name right? For the elderly in many of our care homes in the area. This wonderful act of kindness has been done free of charge, as the only payment Paul required was to be supplied with coffee and cake to keep him going. Although he had never asked for a penny, he has received quite a few donations from the staff and residents, and he used his money very generously by buying hand cream for the staff, a bike for a young boy who had his stolen, and stairgates for families with toddlers. He's a great supporter of the work we do with our sick and injured veterans at Horseback UK and has donated £50 to the charity. Thank you, Paul, and please keep up the good.
Amazing, Paul. Thank you for your amazing contribution. So, Bianca, we're going to talk to you about being kind to yourself today, because I think it's important in these testing and trying times that we make sure that we are being kind to ourselves. And one of the ways we can do that is just to maintain good physical health, isn't it? So,
absolutely.
Before we start talking about that and sharing some practical tips about... and the ones that we're sharing now aren't going to involve Vaseline, I don't think. They might actually, if it's a running one. But before we start sharing those practical tips, tell us about you.
Right, me. I'm Bianca Sainty, and I'm a mum of two. I'm in my mid-40s. I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old. Yeek. I am a personal trainer based in Hammersmith in London. I used to work in TV production as a freelancer, making all sorts of different programs, ranging from A Place in the Sun to Cars, Cops and Criminals, I think was the last thing that I worked on. I retrained, so I had the kids and then I retrained as a PT after two key things, after running the London Marathon in 2011 and then watching and experiencing the Olympics in 2012 in London. Yeah. And it really just sort of reconnected me with exercise. I sort of lost my way. I used to do loads of sports at school and at university, loved it, lots of team stuff. And I sort of, through work and having the kids and stuff, kind of lost a bit of contact with it. And I realised it's really intrinsic to my overall health, physical and mental well-being, to be more active. And so I retrained and I started my personal training business in 2013, in about spring 2013. And so that's me.
And what was the experience running the marathon like?
Oh, I loved it. So everyone who saw me said, "You're nuts. You've got two kids under the age of 3. You're running the marathon." And I was like, yeah, but if I don't run it, I really will be mad, crazy. And I was, so it was, I loved every ounce of it. I loved the training. It was my thing. It was something, that I had for me. I booked it in the diary weeks in advance. I had to work out when I was going to do my long runs with the family, because it is, a huge commitment. But really, I just really loved it. And then I actually, on the day, had a really, really good experience. I basically ran all the way. I didn't stop. I didn't go mega fast or anything, but I was able to absorb some of the amazing atmosphere. And I just was like, this is amazing.
Well, what's interesting, because I did Paris 3 years ago. Was it 3 or 4 years ago now? It was 2017, so it was 3 years ago. I did Paris 3 years ago, and I enjoyed it. It was really good. But part of the thing about Paris, it's a beautiful city, but it is full of Parisians. And Parisians are a bit more sophisticated, but
Not too keen on the marathon.
not too keen on the marathon. And there was some nice polite clapping from sort of bistros and bars on the side. But I was expecting a London environment, and it was just a different experience. Amazing. And running down the river and up to Notre Dame and running up to the Eiffel Tower. I did almost. I've told this story on the podcast before, but there was a guy who wasn't too keen on the marathon, who was trying to cross the road, and they've got you know what it's like. They've got like sort of places where people can cross, and this guy was crossing really slow. They'd stopped any more people, and they'd start the runners again. So I'd started and I had to dodge this guy as he started waving his baguette. So I came back from the marathon, and my first client, I had a client meeting in town, so headed into town to see this client. This client said, "How was the marathon?" I said, "Really good, really enjoyed it. Had a little cry at the end, like sort of a really good experience. But I did get attacked by a man with a baguette." And he went, "You couldn't make that any more French, could you? Did he have like a stripy jumper and like onions?" "No, just the baguette, just the baguette." But I loved it. But I'm expecting London to be just completely different. Have you done any more since?
I haven't.
No.
You know, I did it. I had such a great day. And I know that people usually finish, and they've either straight away like, "I want to do that again," or they're like me, like, "I've done it." So I've notched it up. And because it sort of all went well for me, I didn't feel like I wanted to go back. And also I think because it is, you know, it is a massive commitment, and it's a family thing. I was like, I don't want to do that right now. I wouldn't say never, but London is something else. And so have you done London?
No.
So you're going to be doing it in October?
Hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that October's going to be going on.
He's been trying to do it since Paris.
London will be the one. But then,
it's extraordinary, and ever since I ran it, I've been compelled to go back and cheer everyone on because of the support on the streets. It's absolutely. I can't really describe it. There's so many different elements. I've got so many really vivid memories of different aspects, whether it's drummers, whether it's just people shouting out your name. Of course, you have your name on your T-shirt. And there's this very clever sort of drafting system. When you get a bit tired, you sort of go towards the pavements, like the edge a bit, to let the faster runners through. And of course, that's when people supporting can see you, and they start shouting your name, and the lift you get from that is incredible. And you find yourself sort of drafting back out into the middle, and off you go again. It's genius. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I'm super looking forward to it. Can you tell us a little bit about Pod Fitness, your business?
Yeah. So when I started back in 2013, it was just me. So I was just doing one-to-one personal training. Always outside in the park, partly because I just never really got on with gyms, and I always knew that I that's not really where I wanted to work. And I live right by a park, Ravenscourt Park, and it was like, take people out. And then of course I started seeing all of the added benefits you get from being outdoors. So that became a bit of a USP of ours.
Yeah.
Gradually over the years, sort of, recruited trainers to work alongside me. And I realised as well that a lot of our members we started doing like maybe 2-to-1s, and then with small group session is what we do now, is small group personal training. And we realised that actually most people get everything they need from their small group personal training session. They don't need the one-to-ones, unless, occasionally we have someone with a very, very specific goal or injury rehab type thing. And we found that basically it works really, really, really well. So because you get the social interaction and the motivation, not just from the trainer, but from the little group of people that you're with. So we usually do like 4 max.
But that's an integral part of it, isn't it? It's that social element that comes with exercise that is a motivator, right?
Absolutely, and it just makes it that much more sticky. You've got another reason. So it's not just because your trainer's waiting for you. You're going to see that person that you might have met or before. That you're going to meet up with them, and then a lot of people, if they've got time, they might go for a coffee afterwards. It's all right, and that's so important to our overall well-being, and especially now we found just that social connection.
Yeah.
And it just makes it more fun, frankly. And if something's fun, you're more likely to stick at it. You're more likely to carry on doing it.
100%. And talk to me a little bit about what your a typical group PT session might involve.
So before coronavirus, we would basically gather in the park. Trainers there, they know where to meet him or her, and we have got a shed full of kit. So we would always bring some kit out to the park. So we'd use body weight exercises, but also bring stuff that you might see in a gym, like kettlebells or dumbbells, a TRX, like the suspension trainer, and mats for the members if you're doing floor work. So it would always be different, but generally you would be leaving with having done a full body workout that would incorporate some cardio, like strength and endurance. So just a sort of quite well-rounded session, if you like.
Yeah. Have you got a question?
Yeah. So can you tell us about the mission for Pod Fitness?
Well, yeah, it's really simple actually. It's just getting people fit for life, and in body and mind. So we've got some of the pillars there. So the social interaction, being outdoors, is really important because we just spend so much time indoors. Why?
Well, no, there is one reason why. Minecraft. I mean that.
Yeah, well, exactly. So
what else? What else do you need?
You need to counteract the screens, don't we?
Minecraft cake and.
Sorry, what Minecraft cake?
There's cake in Minecraft.
Is there?
Is there? Where is all this Minecraft cake been holding?
I haven't found that yet.
You can make Minecraft cake.
Yeah, but I prefer taming horses. It's fun.
Right. Sorry, are you? Has this turned into the Minecraft podcast all of a sudden, or what?
It's sort of.
You're chucking in stuff.
Comment and you just gotta like.
Right? No. I mean, I think it was the mention of cake. I mean, I thought the cake was real when you first mentioned it. That's why I was so interested. So, sorry, we've completely gone off track now, Bianca.
That's all right. No, it's my fault because I said outdoors because we spend too much time indoors and then we went into Minecraft again. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's right. But. As you say, help me understand the benefits of that balance of making sure that we spend as much time outside as possible.
Well, there's quite a few aspects to it. The obvious one being the sun, and there's more talk of it now, I think, because vitamin D we get from the sun's action on our skin, and in the northern hemisphere we don't have that much sun, so we're all probably a little bit deficient anyway. But vitamin D is really important for loads of stuff like strong bones. That's probably the one that most people think about when they think about vitamin D, but it's also really important for our immune system, and it sort of kickstarts it. And so there's even more reason, especially right now, we want our immune system to be really strong, right? So get outside every day. Just even if it's not sunny, you still need to get outside and get some, fresh air. Seeing trees and sky is, well, it's been documented now in science that it's good for our well-being.
Yeah, well, nature is important. There's loads of research on that, and you've been scheduling a walk every day, haven't you?
Yeah, I like to go out and I take pictures of bumblebees sticking their heads in flowers.
That's so good. That's really good because you're reconnecting with, nature. And look, think about it. We have evolved massively, right? But we still have those instincts of fight and flight and all the hormones that go around in our bodies. They're designed to keep us alive. And so we're designed to move. Number one, we're not designed to sit down all day. So walking is brilliant. And, we're designed to scan horizons and things. Our eyes need to go and see long distance because that's what we do.
Yeah.
We haven't evolved to our sitting down in front of a desk, world.
The Horizon on Minecraft doesn't count, does it?
I don't think so. No, it's not the same.
Does Chasing Bumblebees count?
Chasing Bumblebees count. And
Chasing Bumblebees.
We're really lucky because we've got we're on the edge of East London / Essex. I don't know how to describe it, to be honest, but because we've got the county park at the back of the house, we've got giant hill that we get to walk up and view for miles, haven't we? It's really, really good. Have you got another
Brilliant.
question?
Yes, okay, so how important... Oh, no, she basically already answered that one. So we just move on to number 5?
No. The question is, how important has been staying fit during lockdown for you personally?
Oh, I misread that question, yeah.
Oh, well, actually, so you probably got by now that when I talk about staying fit and staying well, I'm talking whole thing. I'm not trying to separate physical from mental because we can't. It's been absolutely vital for me. Obviously, the uncertainty and the stress of coronavirus is going to make just everybody has anxiety levels go up, right? And one way that you can help just kind of keep that on a level is through exercising. And for me, it's been absolutely vital. I have had anxiety issues in the past, and I've been very lucky. I've had course treatments for it, and I have lots of tools now to help me deal with what's going on up here. But one of the key elements is just keeping regular exercise in, and I mean that can be just walking or a full-on session or going for a jog. So really, I'd say it's been really vital, and I have, in order to make sure that I kept doing some exercise, I have started doing some live broadcasts. I was talking to you about it earlier, Chris. I started off on Facebook Live, and I called them the isolated, not alone workouts, just as lockdown was starting, because I suddenly realised that there was loads of people who were going to all be stuck at home and thinking, what I do, and all the stress of it, and you need to release that somehow. And exercise is such a good way to release some of that pent up stress. And the nice thing about it is, I mean, now they're on YouTube, but I'm still doing them regularly, and it's made me accountable. I know people are logging in to do those with me, and it's kept me on a level. Because trust me, there's been days where I've woken up and I've thought, I just really, I don't want to today. I don't want to do anything today. But I'm like, oh no, right, I've got my live. Yeah. Got to get up, got to do it. And guess what? After doing it,
you feel better, right? Yeah.
Feel better.
And
feel so much better.
That social side of exercise, isn't it? that accountability is important. Did you have another question?
Yeah, I have several more. What are some of the mental health benefits of maintaining good health?
Okay, so staying physically active and regularly on the inside. So on a hormonal level, you probably know and have heard about endorphins, are what they call our happy hormones. So natural chemicals inside our body that make us feel good and relaxed, and those are released when you do exercise. On top of that, your cortisol levels come down. So your cortisol is your stress levels. One of the hormones responsible for stress. The other thing about when you're moving, especially the cardiovascular, when you're like that, basically you're getting a bit puffy and your heart's pumping and really pumping the blood around your body. The blood gets pumped around your body, but of course it also goes up here to your brain. And the more blood, oxygen feed to your brain, the better, because it encourages something called neurogenesis, so basically creating new neurons, new pathways. And that's really important because it helps you to adapt and think flexibly and deal better basically with stress or stressful situations or stressful problems.
Potentially think differently because it generates the new neurons in your brain. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's all about that blood flow, just giving the potential for the brain to go a spark, a new neuron. It's amazing. It's on so many levels. And then, of course, the more mental health benefits, stuff like, your body confidence. You feel strong, you feel energized. You're going to keep your aches and pains at bay, usually through movement, if you're sensible with what you're doing. I just can go on and on and
on. We talk a decent amount on the podcast. We talk about it all the time, don't we? About
Never stop.
We never stop about Minecraft. No, about talking, not only being kind to other people, and we've got. We talk to people doing amazing work for others, but also the importance of being kind to yourself and effectively putting your own oxygen mask on first so that you can help other people more. I'm a believer that fitness is one of the ways to do that, and I'm sure you are. Help us understand why.
Oh, it's so important, and it really touches me quite deeply what you're saying, because it's a lesson that I'm learning still. I've been that person. I am that person. I'm always kind to everyone else. And who am I not kind to? Myself.
Yeah.
And even at my ripe old age, I'm learning to be kinder to myself. And it's so, so key. I mean, staying fit is, it's just part of self-care.
Yeah.
So if you can see that as something enjoyable rather than just something you have to do, you just got to get it done. It's actually enjoyable, and you're thinking, I'm being nice to myself, I'm looking after myself. I'm going to feel so much better once I've finished, and then that means that I can go and play really nicely and mindfully with my kids, or I can go and have a nice walk with my friends and really listen to them. So I think it's really important to view physical activity in this way. But I also think just be careful not to put too much pressure on yourself. So, you'll know, because, like training for the marathon and stuff, it can be easy to slip into, I missed a run, and start sort of like, oh no, it's a disaster, or beating yourself up a bit because you maybe didn't do something after all. So you have to get that balance, and just check in and go, today I'm feeling a bit low on energy. So maybe instead of doing a high energy workout with Bianca, I might just go for a walk.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So it's like, because you're moving, you're still getting benefits.
It's an interesting one, because the charity that I'm doing the marathon for, St Francis, arrange sort of sports psychologists and other people to come and talk to us about running the marathon. And one of the things the sports psychologist said when I went along to the evening is don't put too much pressure on yourself to achieve a particular time on the training run. Like, you can set a broad aspiration, but actually run and train and say and aim for it just to feel good, or aim for it just to achieve a certain distance. Don't sort of make it too much about you are allowed to go easy on yourself sometimes, and part of being kind to yourself is not beat yourself up over everything. Do you know what I mean? Because things sometimes are in terms of like sort of life, most of the time it goes all right, doesn't it? And sometimes we put pressure on ourselves unnecessarily. Absolutely.
And I think tech can be really helpful, but sometimes it sort of it's enabling us to put pressure on ourselves. So I might say to you, do you know what, Chris? Next time you go for a run, don't even put your watch on. Don't. Just go for a run and just see how it feels. You don't find yourself going, oh, that last kilometre I did was a bit slow, or you don't. It's just not there. So you can't, and then you're just running for running's sake, right? I mean,
to be honest, that last kilometre for me always is going to be a bit slow, because every kilometre is a bit slow. But I suppose the challenge a lot of people have faced during lockdown is they've had a bit more time on their hands. they want to get a bit more physically fit, but they don't know where to start. So where would or they've been used to going to the gym pre-lockdown, and now find their routines, their habits being disrupted a bit, and they've lost the flow a bit. What tips would you give somebody to help them get back into the habit of exercising all the time?
Okay, so if somebody's, let's just do it's two parts really. So if someone's starting totally from scratch, just start small, and like that can literally be like a walk every day, and that is great, and you'll start to feel the benefits immediately. So everyone always say try and find something you enjoy. So it may be different, have to be different, but if you find something you enjoy, as I've said before, you're more likely to stick at it. For someone who is, like you say, maybe was in a routine, but that's been disrupted for whatever, they can't go to their gym, or I'd say embrace it, because the way we progress mentally, physically, is by mixing things up. And that's true in exercise. So if you always do the same thing in your class or your gym, it's really good for you to actually just try something different. So whether that's to go for a little run or to try a workout online, the exercises will be different. It's going to be really, really good for you. And you'll be maybe training not with massive heavy weights, but it doesn't matter. You've got your body weight. You can do loads with that. So I would just try and embrace, for those that are more seasoned, just try and embrace the new. Try something different. Like we were saying before, don't worry about the tangibles or the numbers and stuff like that. Just get out there and do what you feel.
And what you talked about trying something new. What things that somebody who might have trained before and maybe doing the hip routines, what might they try that might be a bit different?
Going for a cycle ride?
Yeah. Maybe something different. Now, one of the things that I intend to do, and one of the things we've talked about on the podcast before, because we had a previous question of the podcast about, I think it might have been one of our nostalgic tinged questions, was one of our listeners didn't know what runouts was. And I am genuinely thinking about, after lockdown's over, having a massive charity runouts competition. Just out of interest, Bianca, are you in?
I will say yes when I know what it is. Sorry. What's a runout?
You don't know what runouts are?
No.
So it's the game where you somebody counts and you run, and then there's a ball that they've got to get to, and then it's like ad, but a bit more like.
Are you talking is it like a bleep test?
It's great.
Yeah. So what happens is there's one person who's the adder, everybody else runs, and then what you've got to try and do is get back to base, and if the adder gets you, you then become a adder. And then runs out again, and then has to run in again.
Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe I knew it as a different name or something. But yeah,
I used to think
I'm in.
No. British Bulldogs wall to wall. There's the difference. British Bulldogs, isn't it? No. Okay. Anyway. Anyway, where can people? That's the second person who doesn't know what runouts is. I think my perception that everybody knew what runouts is being smashed. Where can
I think it's just a terminology thing, Chris. I think.
Bianca, what would you call it?
It's like a running sardines, isn't it? Like, so if you get caught, you have to join the catchers team. I don't know. I don't know.
Where did sardines come into it?
I don't know. Should we keep going before we get more?
It's the salmon fish cakes.
Yeah. Right. Where can people find out a little bit more about you and Pod Fitness?
I was just thinking about this. The quickest, the easiest place to go is probably just to my Instagram, which is at Bianca Sainty.
Okay.
And then there's the link on there to my YouTube channel, and then there's also the link to Pod Fitness. And yeah, then you can find, there's, it's all we're all interlinked, aren't we? So that's probably the easiest. So the at Bianca Sainty on Instagram.
Amazing. And all of your workout videos that you've been doing are on your Facebook page and then on YouTube?
Yes, so actually the YouTube channel, which is called Workout with B, that's me, by the way, in case you didn't realise, has actually got them all stacked up. They might be a bit easier to find. And there's 20 or so currently, and I'm going to be adding more on week by week. And they're all like 30 minutes body weight workouts that you can do anywhere. So they're kind of like long enough that you feel like you've really done some work, but short enough it doesn't take up your whole day. Who's got time for that anyway?
Amazing. Thank you so much. We're going to do the answers to the question of the podcast, which, if you remember, was what fictional or cartoon character would you be? Russ said, if you ask Tom, I am comic book guy from The Simpsons. Ellie Thomas said, obviously SpongeBob SquarePants. Louise McNamee said, I'd be Poppy from Trolls as a cartoon character, and John Coffey from The Green Mile. He is. Have you seen The Green Mile yet?
No.
You've got to get a bit of The Green Mile in your life. It's an amazing movie. Sean Acton said Hong Kong Phooey. Roberta White said definitely Harry Potter. John Cook wants to be Spider-Man.
Which
Trace,
one?
what do you mean, which one?
Which interpretation of Spider-Man does he want to be?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know. Yeah, good question. Tracy said Nanny McPhee. Nicola Taylor said Paddington Bear. And Justin Gaffney said Wonder Woman. All very good choices there.
As Wonder Woman is.
And then Catherine Knowles said on Twitter, Catherine Knowles said she'd be a toss-up between Sherlock Holmes and Hercule Poirot. Now that is a great choice. Would you go for Agatha Christie? What fictional detective would you be?
See, I'd love to be like an assistant, so you can kind of watch it all happening.
Yeah. So you'd be Dr. Watson, would you?
Or like Hastings, or...
Could be, yeah. And then Chris Budds kept the aspiration super low. He'd go for Jesus. He's just been Jesus. Now, look, I'm not. I don't want to get into a religious debate, Chris. Whatever you choose is entirely your choice. But that's it. Bianca, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We really appreciate your input. If you'd like to have a look at what Bianca's doing, we'll make sure we put the links in the show notes. Have a lovely Friday.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bye.